82 years old now. My hands tremble when I hold coffee in the morning. And for 41 years, I believed I was a good husband. Her last words were not out of anger. That is what hurts me. If she had been angry, maybe I could have argued with that in my head all these years, defend myself. But she just looked at me from that hospital bed and said, "You were always on the other side. No, you worked too much. No, you didn't love me." It was just that I was somewhere else. I tell you this because my time to share it with someone is running out. And because maybe you are somewhere else right now reading this, and you don't even know it. When I was 27, I thought I had life figured out. I had the job, the wife, the little house with the oak tree in front. I was doing what a man was supposed to do: provide, build, succeed. Eleanor would ask me what I was thinking about during dinner, and I would say, work, or the car, or some project. She would nod and keep eating. I never thought to ask why she wanted to know. I never thought to say, "I was thinking about you." We had a routine. I would get home at 6:15, always at the same time. I would hang the keys on the hook by the door. I would sit in my armchair. She would tell me about her day, and I would listen while watching television with no sound. I thought that was being present, being there. I was there, it's just that I wasn't there. In my 30s, we had children, a boy and a girl. They were noisy and messy, and I loved them, but I was tired. I worked weekends. I answered calls at the table. I remember my son learning to ride a bike in the driveway. I watched him from the window. I had papers to grade. I was a teacher, can you believe it? I taught young people about history, about what matters, and I saw my own son learn to balance on two wheels from inside the house. I told myself I would be there next time. There's always a next time. But there isn't. There's only the time you have, and then it runs out. My daughter played the violin. Not well, especially at first. It sounded scratchy and out of tune. I told her to practice in her room with the door closed so I could concentrate. Now she's 48 years old. She lives in Oregon. She still plays, but she never played for me again after she got better. I don't blame her. He blamed the job. He blamed the mortgage. He blamed the grass that needed cutting and the gutters that needed cleaning. He blamed everything except his own decisions. Because if he admitted he was choosing those things over them, he would have to admit what kind of man he really was. In his 40s, Eleanor stopped asking me what I was thinking. I didn't notice when she stopped doing it. That's the thing about slow losses. You don't feel them as they happen. One day you just look up and the house is silent and you don't remember when the music stopped. We had dates to go out, twice a month, as the marriage book said. We sat at the Italian place on 4th Street, the one with the checkered red tablecloths. She talked about the kids. I talked about work. We ran out of conversation topics by the time the salad arrived and we just ate. I thought that was normal. I thought that happened after 20 years. You stop having things to say to each other. You become two people who share a house, share children, share meals, but do not share the silent things. They do not share the fear. They do not share the hope. I never told her that I was afraid of not being good enough. I never told her that some days I felt like a fraud. I never told her that sometimes driving back home I would pull over and just sit by the side of the road for 10 minutes, trying to remember who I was before I became all the things I was supposed to be. She would have listened to me. She always listened. I just never said it. Once I asked her if she wanted to book something. A weekend trip, maybe to the coast. She said, "We'll see." I didn't insist. I told myself there was time. The diagnosis came at 71. She was 69. Pancreatic cancer. The kind that doesn't give you years, it gives you months. The kind that makes all those coming years you promised sound like a cruel joke you played on yourself. I truly retired that week. I fully committed to being her caregiver. Suddenly I was there for every appointment, every medication, every long night. I made calls. I researched treatments. I sat by her bed and held her hand. She told me, "You don't have to do all this." And I said, "I want to do it. I'm here now." She smiled. It was a kind smile. But there was something underneath that I didn't understand until later. She said, "I know you're here." Not, "I'm glad." Not, I expected this, just, I know you're here. As if she had stopped expecting something different a long time ago, and my presence now was just a fact, not a gift. The last conversation wasn't dramatic. There was no storm outside, no emotional music like in the movies. It was Tuesday. The nurse had just left. Eleanor was propped up on pillows, looking out the window at the birch tree we planted when we moved in. It was already tall, older than our children. She said, "Do you remember when we planted that tree?" I said yes. I remembered. She said, "You made the hole too shallow. I told you it needed to be deeper." I laughed. I was young. I thought I knew everything. She was silent for a moment. Then she turned from the window and looked at me. She really looked at me, like she used to, before life got busy and we forgot how. "You were always somewhere else," she said. Not accusing, just observing, as if she were telling me what she had noticed over 41 years and wanted me to know before she left. I started to say something, an excuse, a defense. But she squeezed my hand and shook her head, barely. "I don't say it to hurt you," he said. "I just wanted you to know that I saw you. Even when you weren't there, I saw you, and I stayed because I thought one day you might come back." Yes, I came back. I came back in the end, when there was nothing left to save and nowhere else to be. She died 3 days later, in the morning. The birch was swaying with the wind outside her window. This is what I learned, 41 years too late. Being a good man is not the same as being present. You can pay the bills and fix the sink and never miss work, and still fail the people you love, not out of cruelty, not out of negligence that you can point to and apologize for, but for something quieter, for always being a little bit elsewhere, for saving your best attention for later, and later never comes. I thought I was building a life for us, but a life is not a house that you finish and then move into. It is not a destination you arrive at. It is the conversation at dinner. It is the scratchy violin. It is the question, "What are you thinking about?" And the answer, "About you." I don't have pictures of Eleanor and me at the Grand Canyon. We never made it to the RV. The brochures are still in the basket next to the refrigerator. I can't throw them away. I also can't look at them. My children visit me. They are kind. They call me every Sunday. But we don't talk about the years I missed. We talk about the weather, their jobs, their children. The distance between us is polite and well-maintained. It is the distance I built. A lost recital at a time, a closed door at a time, a night on the couch with the television on while my daughter played the violin in another room. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or even older, if you're reading this and thinking, "That won't be me," I'm not here to convince you otherwise. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just an old man in a quiet house, and I'm telling you what happened. I'm telling you that I had 41 years with a woman who loved me, who saw me even when I wasn't there, and I spent most of those years being elsewhere. I'm telling you that I don't miss the meetings. I don't miss the deadlines. I don't miss any of the things I thought were so urgent, so important, so worthy of my attention. I don't even remember most of them. I miss her asking me what I was thinking. I miss having someone who wanted to know. I miss being the man she thought I would become. The man I always promised to be, starting next year, starting Monday, starting tomorrow. Tomorrow never came, and now she's gone, and I'm here, and all that's left for me is the truth. If this meant something to you, if any of this made you stop, made you think of someone you love, made you feel that silent pain of recognition, maybe that is enough. Maybe that is all I can give you. I don't know your life. I don't know what keeps you on the other side. I don't know what you are waiting for. I only know that I am 82 years old, and the birch tree is still standing outside my window. It has been there since 1967. Eleanor planted it with me. She said the hole was too shallow.